Hello and welcome to your call to adventure. I'm Ashley and this is Bella, and we are the co-creators of Unlock Your Design, and we bridge the gap between human design and Gene Keys. And we do this so that you can have a all-encompassing understanding of who you are and where you're going and what your truth is through this process of an internal adventure. And what we want to invite you to today is your own hero's journey. We want you to be able to uncover your superpowers, your special gifts, your genius. We want you to test yourself, challenge yourself, observe yourself, so that you can kind of go into the underworld of yourself and come out on the other side changed and transformed. We want you to reclaim your status of being the hero in your life, in saving yourself. We want this call to adventure to be something that opens your eyes and your heart to the power of who you are. And we use these systems, human design and Gene Keys, as a sort of like a blueprint or a map for you to follow. And this is an internal adventure. It's not this seeking outside of yourself. You've probably done that enough in your life. Right now, the adventure is an internal one. And we would love for you to have what we've had and to see what has opened up for you, what's possible. And our call to adventure has looked very different. I mean, everyone's call to adventure looks different. And Bella, what did it look like for you to open yourself up to these systems and to the adventure that awaited for you?
Yeah, I was very much like so many people that come to you and me. I was in the gap already, and I knew that I couldn't go back to what I had done. I had 1 year, actually really bad year, and I thought it was all about an energy thing. I thought, okay, if I just can regain my energy, my health, I can go back. But then I found my blueprint, and I started to understand that I never wanted to go back. And actually, for me, it was a bit of a physical adventure because I find my human design chart, and then I drove up the coast from Solana Beach up to San Francisco. I did my first session. And when I walked out, there was something that I could feel it viscerally in my body that had ignited. And I knew that this was something that it was not just a session with a therapist. It was not just a coach. It was something that I was going to commit to. So for 4.5 years, I spoke bi-weekly with Rosie and really started to understand everything that I was and everything that I wasn't. And also, it was this permission slip to be me. So, more I discovered of the system, more I discovered of me, and more it felt like, this is who I am. Why did I ever try to be something that I'm not? And what I loved with the journey too, and I think ever since that very first time that I saw it, for me, the human design on one side and Gene Keys on the other side, it really helped me to say, I'm not going into a box. I'm not following the system. No, there are two systems that really could help me. They were together, but also quite different in the sense that they were speaking to me. So when one system didn't speak to me, the other was there. And that's how I've been, weaving this path for 7 years. And my life is an adventure. Like, I live a very unconventional life. And it wasn't what I thought I was going to live, but I have this internal sense of being home, of being in peace with myself. And also, when I'm lost, I know that it's for something, and that there's another, like you're speaking about the hero's journey, I know there's another step or another spiral that I'm going through. And then when I come out on the other side, I have those ahas. I know it was for something. So life starts to make sense when we are anchored in our inner purpose. It doesn't mean that we don't grow anymore. It doesn't mean that we don't have challenges, but it has this knowing that I'm coming out on the other side, and I'm richer on the other side.
Yeah. And I mean, I love that you said it doesn't end. Like once you go on your adventure and you feel like, "Oh, I found myself." There's levels and layers of deeper understanding and peeling away what you're not and aligning with what you are, and you're always choosing and reevaluating and transforming and healing and coming into wholeness. And once an adventurer, always an adventurer. I feel like Indiana Jones wasn't happy with just going on one adventure. He had to go and do multiple things because there's just always this hunger inside of you. And instead of the hunger being fixated externally, it's this hunger of how can I know myself more intimately? How can I come more into communion with myself? And that's kind of the question that I was asking. My call to adventure was, when I was an entrepreneur, starting the entrepreneur journey, and I happened to meet someone who was clairvoyant, and she just like unloaded my whole life in front of me and said, "This is who you are, and when are you going to start living that?" And I was like, "Oh my God." The door was open. I ran in there, and then I didn't stop running, and I'm like, this and that and this and that. And then once I started to slow down, I decided that, okay, I can't have all of these cool magical tools. I need to start mastering something. And that's where human design and Gene Keys came in. And I went deep into that and deep into the self mastery, because I knew that I was asking myself, who am I? I got married when I was 17, turning 18. I had 4 kids, and they woke me up to the fact that I wasn't satisfied with the things that you're supposed to do. Getting married, going to college, having kids, all these things you're supposed to do weren't actually fulfilling me. And I felt a lot of guilt because of it. And from that guilt, I was asking myself, well, okay, if I'm not happy here, what would make me happy? Nothing external. I really need to just understand who I am and have peace with who I am, because who I am isn't who my family is. Who I am isn't me as a mom. I'm not a mom. I'm not a wife. I'm not all these labels. I'm just me. And I get to have different adventures in these different areas of my life. But I can bring my whole self to the table instead of putting on the hat of mom and then putting on the hat of this. It's like, come wholeheartedly to your life and show up as you. But I had to discover who I was. And so this whole process has been an adventure of discovering who I am and who I'm not, and like taking off the clothes that I put on that somebody else told me to put on, because I was so easily persuaded of, oh, can you tell me who I am? I will do that. I will be the best student ever. You just tell me who I am and I'll do it. I was so great at meeting expectations and getting like that gold star and being the best student ever. And so instead I became a student of myself, and I asked my soul who I was. And so this whole adventure that you are being prompted to go on is your soul's calling, saying, hi, I want to know you, and I want to live open-heartedly, and I want to work through you. Let me come through you, because your life will be so much more enriched. Your life will be so much more fulfilling when you start living your soul's calling. But to do that, you have to start listening to what your soul's telling you.
Yeah, and this is not about theory. That's why you can go and take a human design course, or you can do the golden path on yourself. This is not about studying. It's not about theory. This is about embodiment. And the ways that we work with it have to do with how can you become what you learn? How can you become more of what you already are? How can you embody more of your truth? And since we are all different, there are people that really want to go on an intense journey, maybe a one-on-one or two-on-one with me and Ashley, and just really dive into it. And then we have people that love community, and they want to feel like they are not the only beginner in the room, and they want to share the experiences, because through experiences and through relationships is how we can feel how things are transforming through us and in us. So that's why Ashley and I have different kind of paths into the adventure, but all of them goes to embodying more of your truth and not just learning a system. Because when you learn a system, it stays in your mind, and we are not so interested about what's in your mind. We are interested, like Ashley's saying, how do you feel in your heart? What are you anchored in through your body? How are you sharing from this energy with the other? That's what's important. That's what's going to have your quality of life change from maybe how it feels to be a lot in your mind. So it's not another tool for you to kind of become more efficient or more successful in that sense. Is to feel who you are and then walk through the world having your soul and your personality being friends, and not only being friends but dancing together.